Or
Well, hey everybody. Welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, the show with two real-life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane.
I'm Lukey Duke.
What was that?
Lukey Duke. It's my nickname.
Lukey Duke? That's okay. This is K-Bomb. And this is the Buddies on Buddies show. Welcome back. I'm not a K-Bomb. Why can't I be a K-Bomb?
Well, you haven't earned K-Bomb. Who calls you K-Bomb?
My mother.
People call me Lukey Duke. No one calls you K-Bomb.
Who the fuck calls you Lukey Duke?
Oh, that's right. You haven't been in LA for a while.
I haven't. What happened while I was gone? When did you become Lukey Duke?
It's all the rage. I really became Lukey Duke.
Because you started hosting kids shows or something? Like, it's Lukey Dukey Duke. Like, what is that?
No, I host kids shows. I'm not allowed to be on. No, never mind. Go ahead. What are we doing
here? This week we're reviewing the 2000 Touchstone Pictures release, Shanghai Noon, starring Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson, directed by Tom Day, which is the return from Tom Day movie. Second time we've done a Tom Day one after Showtime, which had the same writers as well.
And before we get into all that, tell us a little something about who you are and why we're professionals.
Why we're professionals? Why we have a show that
we have a professional show. We make a lot of money doing this. What qualifies us to do this?
I wrote a theme to YouTube, why I want my own show. Mm-hmm. And after about a month's wait, they sent something back, and I auditioned like 3 times, and finally they let me record my own show and put it on the show. On the YouTube.
Not long after that, you approached me, and the producers had me read with you, and it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a whole process. But, here we are on top of the world.
Exactly. It was between me and David Arquette, but our chemistry was undeniable, so it won't be unknown. Lukey Duke.
Right. It's gonna be Jeremy Piven and David Arquette, and that was gonna be the Buddies on Buddies show, but yeah, too bad. You're stuck with us, everybody.
But that's our qualifications. Now, before we get into, I should just do that every time I say to remind myself I'm just to really calm. Just make a 10-second every time I do it a little bit.
Oh, just like really lean into it because you don't want to get rid of those ums. Okay.
Yeah. Before we talk about Shanghai Noon, we're not Shanghai Noon. High Noon. Good movie in its own right.
Did you watch the football game tonight?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. Well, I was wondering. Yeah, did you have a few little sips of the?
If you're implying that I am drunk, I will tell you that I am not. Unfortunately.
Oh.
I stayed up late last night because I had to shoot, so I didn't have a lot of time to drink. I'm more flustered because I was getting in to do all this business and stuff.
Yeah.
Watching a game and getting this, and our Photoshop wasn't working. I'd use a sign-in, and I used my wife's sign-in, and then that wasn't working. And then it was 8:02. That's why you had to wait a little more than you did. So I'm more.
Just say yes. Just say yes. Just. You explain all this shit. That's what I always say.
What did you watch?
Yeah. So
watch it. That's a good defense too.
Yeah.
What of it?
Of course.
It's like.
Did you see anything this week besides Shanghai Noon?
I didn't really see shit. I haven't watched much of anything. I've been really busy though, uncharacteristically more so than normal.
Yeah, you got all this stuff going on. When I talked to you earlier this week, you're like, I got this thing this night. You're a busy guy.
I hate it.
You hate being busy?
Yeah, I would prefer doing absolutely nothing all the time. And it explains my success level.
Maybe this is like a late in life kind of like onset of busyness that might look at it as a blessing,
No, it's always it's always great though having it done. I just say there was a director, I forget who it was. It's like the opposite of Quentin Tarantino's. We love making movies. He's talking about how making movies fucking sucks. No one likes making movies. They love having a movie made, just like I don't like to write. I like having it written, Pretty much in that category. So I hate doing anything, but I'm always appreciative once it's done,
Yeah. not to name droppy, but like Matt Stone one time told me, because I was asking him about like Team America, and he's like, "Well, if you ever make a movie, make damn sure you want to make that movie, because it's gonna take a long fucking time to make, and after about 2 months working with these puppets and doing shit, you're gonna start questioning if this is still funny. I think it's still funny. What the
Yeah.
fuck am I still doing this? Like, what the fuck's going on?" And then it just takes forever to come out, and then people are like, because like Team America basically bombed in theaters and didn't become a hit till like on DVD later. So it was like all this long effort for like
And I'm certainly nowhere near that caliber, but like, yeah, we wrote this last night. That's what we were doing. We wrote this stupid little sketch that we were going to shoot on our iPhones with poor audio, like we always do. Like, don't give a shit.
Yeah, sure.
Then we got what's it called? A DP involved who's a friend of ours. So I did some tests and he wanted to shoot it. And it just got bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it's a huge fucking shoot. And we're there last night. Like, the script sucks. We didn't, I didn't sit down to write this for a big show. Now it's all of a sudden this short with all this great talent around it. Looks great. It's the dumbest fucking thing. I still
you didn't take enough time on the writing, basically, or
no, I mean, no, not as if I'd known we were going to put that much together, I would have wanted a better thing from the concept level. The bedrock alone of this should have been stronger instead of trying to polish our stupid idea to fit this visual. But at the same time, you're creating stuff, so I'm always happy. And it costs personally any money. So, and I'm sure it's going to turn out better than if I had thought really hard on it first, Maybe that kind of shoot from the hip thing might work a little better.
Have you seen the final product yet, or no?
We just got it.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
Okay, yes, you never know.
It'll look great, but that's the problem too when you work with talent who makes everything look great, and you have this stupid fucking idea.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, in film school, I always know like there's guys who are very technical and great, like directors or cinematographers or whatnot, but their script sucks, and it doesn't matter how much you polish that, like or get around it. You could be the most technical wizard ever, but if you can't write, then your movie's going to kind of suck because it all stems off the concept or the script.
Yeah, it just proves that it's a team sport, filmmaking. It really is.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So no, I haven't watched anything. I've been making things. What did you watch, Kenny?
The Love Boat. I've been watching actually the Love Boat, old episodes of Love Boat. Yeah. I got a DVD from the library down the street. It was like this third or fourth season. I don't know, volume 2 or something. It's an hour-long show from the late 70s, early 80s. Those of you not familiar with the Love Boat, and I remember it being reran all the time, and it's super fucking cheesy. It's about the hijinks, romantic comedy hijinks on a cruise ship out of LA. Not a good show, pretty bad. The amount of guest stars though that are on this show is nuts. There's like a supercut of it on YouTube, and just see everybody from like Tom Hanks to Hulk Hogan who had like little spots on the Love Boat. It's a great show to put on in the morning. I'll say that. Just in the background while you're doing stuff, making coffee, because the opening, the Love Boat, da, 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 da. Putting it on at night is not as good, because then you actually have to sit down and watch it. That sucks, but it's just great to have on in the background while you're doing shit around the house in the morning, I'd say.
I've never watched an episode of Love Boat. When I came on as a kid, you'd see the title and you change the channel because it obviously was our age,
Right. That's what I did.
There's a concept: people who are having trouble in their romantic lives go on a cruise, and the people who work on the Love Boat kind of fix it for them.
Sort of every week, like the guest stars are always like the stars of the episode. Basically, it's like some couple who meet cute, or an older couple, or whatever, or people meeting people, they come on, they're like the main focus of the show, and they kind of interact with like the captain and the bartender and stuff like that. So that's the general concept of the show.
Well, I smell a sister podcast we can do where we cover the Love Boat.
Love and Love Boat. Here we come. No, I don't want to cover it. I got pretty sick of it pretty fast. It was almost started as like, I'm gonna get into Love Boat. I don't know if you remember back in like LA when like Game of Thrones was big, and I wasn't into Game of Thrones, and I started watching 30 something just so I could talk to people at parties, and like when they started talking about Game of Thrones, I'd bring up 30 something. And then about 4 or 5 episodes into it, I'm like, this is a lot of effort for not that funny of a joke at a party.
Also,
So
how
I
much
stopped
do you
watching.
know? Can't you just watch the pilot and talk about that? No one else is going to be able to jump on your 30 something.
No, because you gotta say like, oh, in episode 3, when David realizes after he got fired that
Why don't you just make it up? No one's watched 30 something in our age group.
Because it's not a pure joke, Luke.
Jesus. By the way, you were always a huge shit at parties. Sorry, we're going through a heat.
Oh yeah, big time. I always won the crowd. Oh, where are you going?
Hey, Mary, will you turn the AC on, please? Thank you, baby. It's a heat wave in Los Angeles, and the AC is not on, and I am starting to sweat up here.
Oh wow. Well, it's like kind of cold up here in Washington, starting to get, but I know like LA, like summertime is like September.
Yeah, it cools down next week. It's just a heat wave, but yeah, my glasses are fogging up, and as you mentioned earlier, I'm an alcoholic, so I sweat a lot.
Sweating under these lights downtown, basically. The pressure is on.
Oh yeah, once the Lukey Duke hit that wave, went up like a California wildfire, having to work all the time,
The stress, the pressure of this show is just too much. Our 44 subscribers, yeah. They want brilliance every time, and we have to deliver. God damn, this is hard.
Pressure makes diamonds. Do you want to give up?
Is that a t-shirt?
No, that's a science thing, I think. I think I saw that in Superman 3.
Okay. Oh yeah. It's a good one. Well, good. I don't know. I like it.
Now, is that a buddy action comedy? Is he buddies with?
No, he only splits apart for a minute, and then he's fighting his bad self. So I don't think that's a buddy action comedy.
Well, good. So, do you want to give the plot summary of Shanghai Noon? I want to say night, and then I want to say high noon, and my dyslexia just takes those four and has a lot of fun with them.
It's a crazy world. Okay, the Shanghai Noon.
Right.
Yeah, it's in late 19th century China. There's a princess. She flees to America to escape her, she's getting married to some dork or something, and she ends up in the Wild West, and they send 3 Imperial guards to kind of rescue her, get her back. She ends up getting kidnapped. And along the way, they run into a band of train robbers led by Owen Wilson. Jackie Chan plays one of the guards sent along, and they actually end up teaming up to go rescue the princess, basically.
Cool.
Yeah. So what did you?
Sorry. No, you go.
So what did you? I know what you're doing.
No, you don't know what I'm doing.
So what you think of Shanghai Noon? Go.
Damn it. So I used to love this movie when it came out. I was, because I love Bottle Rocket, so I loved Owen Wilson because that was like an indie movie I liked. Not too many people around me were familiar with the movie, and I was like, he's so funny. And then this movie came out, it was big for him and everything, and he was hilarious. And I love the movie, and I'm pleased to say I really enjoyed it rewatching it. Not that it's not without its fault, but I thought this was a fun, really entertaining movie. I wasn't bored once. It's maybe the least chore of a movie we've watched on this.
That's interesting.
It's really well paced.
I would say it holds up fine. I think it was a very enjoyable rewatch. I will say though, you might disagree with me. This is probably the thing that kept going on in my head. This is the most dad movie I think we've watched since we started this thing. It's this really, it's just our age group. Because I could definitely, if I had kids, I kind of felt like if I tried to show this to them, they would be very bored. They'd be like, "Oh God, this movie came out 22 years ago," but I'd be all excited about it. Isn't this fun? Isn't it great? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I want to know because this is very reliant. It's not even Jackie Chan's action that's cut to hell because of the insurance reasons and stuff. So the action kind of sucks, but it's pretty reliant on their chemistry and Owen Wilson's comedy. This isn't Owen Wilson.
Yeah. Their chemistry is really great. It's a really great buddy team up. This is the movie that kind of broke Owen Wilson for mainstream audiences. I mean, he'd been in Wes Anderson movies like Bottle Rocket and stuff. He was in this serial killer drama called The Minus Man and the lead in that. But as far as his persona, I remember this was a huge hit on video. And that's where I think everyone kind of who's this guy? He's funny. So this is I think it's almost like the quintessential Owen Wilson movie, maybe. I don't know.
He's got a Han Solo type thing to him where he's funny and clever and sarcastic, but he fucks up all the time. He's good with women, but always fucks it up. So he's easy to root for,
Yeah, yeah. He's a very self-deprecating, kind of likable guy. He's got a good. It seems very like 21st century, very contemporary.
Mm.
his dialogue and his line readings and everything. That's kind of part of the charm, I guess.
Exactly. He breaks the fourth wall in a sense. He knows he's in a movie. The character.
Mhm.
Of course, this guy isn't a cowboy. He's talking about being a cowboy and stuff like that. Cowboys don't talk about that.
Yeah, well, plus you got a soundtrack with like ZZ Top and Kid Rock and shit playing. So it's like I don't think this movie's trying to hide the fact that's trying to, trying to, appeal to mainstream audiences in 2000 and stuff like that.
Not that it's a couple knocks. They do here. This is something because I read a lot of screenplays that really annoys me.
Mhm.
And you notice in a lot of movies and stuff, people overhearing conversations for plot device. So one character knows something. You'll notice it all the time now. They hear two people talking like, "Ooh, I have information that I shouldn't have," or they're talking directly.
Oh.
This the plot is just such an easy plot device. They use it a couple times in this. Whatever. This is Shanghai Noon. Who cares? But it's something I noticed. They did that twice, like with him hearing Roy talking about how he doesn't like him in the whorehouse.
Overhear something.
Yeah,
and that becomes like another plot.
Or a plot or dispute the plot. And the action is overcut. I already said that. They had a sequel to this, Shanghai Nights, which was not good at all, if I remember.
I never saw it. Yeah,
it's not good at all.
Oh.
Do you have any
magic?
The magic's gone. It was just a shoehorn of British famous people. It's not good. Maybe we'll watch it down the line. So we'll talk. Well, you have a pitch. If you were making a sequel to Shanghai Noon, do you have a pitch of what your sequel would be? I don't have one. I just wanted to ask you.
I don't know. I don't know if this movie really warranted a sequel. I almost think that maybe you could just do a different movie with Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan in it. Because if you do a Western, then it's just kind of the same movie over again. I guess they thought like going.
I was like, because it's Old West.
Okay, go ahead.
3 words: Trail of Tears.
yeah. Jackie Chan kung fu's his way through the Trail of Tears. That'd be awesome. Wounded Knee, Revenge by Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson, saying some great one-liners along the way.
Boy, I used to. No, I don't want to do it. Everyone does Owen Wilson.
I remember there was a movie, like HBO movie. There was posters around LA where you're driving around. It was Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. And we passed by it and you were like, more like Bury My Fart at Wounded Knee. I still remember that. That was a good one.
Yeah, and that's why I'm the comic relief of this famous podcast.
Yeah. Who totally switched the wording there. That was hilarious.
Do you notice the subtitles were really huge because it's for dumb people? Like this isn't for smart. Sometimes they're like half
the size of the thing.
You're like, Jesus.
Well, Jesus, yeah. Well, some people just hate subtitles. I pretty much watch all movies with subtitles. Because I watch movies late at night, living in an apartment, you want to keep it kind of down. So I'm used to subtitles all the time. But I noticed that sometimes I remember the local theater here, that movie A Quiet Place, when that started, that's like a lot of subtitles, and people were angrily demanding their money back. Like, I didn't come to the movies to read, god damn it. Like, what the fuck?
That's really funny. You live in a great place, great area, beautiful fishing.
Beautiful fishing, great, beautiful out here. I love it. But yeah, not everyone is a urban sophisticate, I guess.
A coastal elite is what we would call ourselves.
I prefer coastal elite.
I prefer coastal elite. Thank you.
Elite. I prefer the better class. Thank you.
I swear to God. These guys probably don't even have a bunker. Sorry.
Oh, we talking about the plot and like silly things about that. Like, I think like the whole thing with his wife marrying the Native American gal whose name is Falling Leaves in the credits, but is never actually referred to her name the entire thing. Her rescuing them last minute, they did that like 2 or 3 times where they get into this crazy situation and then you see this person kind of sneaking up behind and then she rescues them last minute. I thought that was like kind of repetitive and kind of lame. It was like, okay, just gonna have that. So they get in the situation, and she gets them out last minute, and they go on to the next thing. That happened a couple times.
I also think talking about racism and everything, because we have to a lot in the
Mhm.
show because everything's so racist. I really think it's a studio
Yeah.
thing where like Jackie Chan can't be with the Native American and Owen Wilson can't be with the Chinese person.
Yeah. You
You
see
know,
that a lot in those old movies,
that's
like
where the
70s, 80s and stuff.
story,
Yeah.
where the story is headed, and then they just do a switch.
Yeah. Yeah, at the very end, that was weird too. It's like,
Yeah,
like
very
I'm
cool.
with your wife now, like, and you're with Lucy Liu. Like, why? Because you're Asian, dummy, and she's Asian. Like, huh? Was there even like any sort of chemistry between you guys? Like, who cares? You got to pair up the Asians, and
And then I had this line. I don't even remember this line because I watched it on Monday, but it's an exact quote. That's because they're not Indians, woman. They're Jews.
Yeah, I remember that. That line sounding was
Nice.
way out of the like, what?
Jackie Chan smoking weed was a very 90s thing. Like, oh, look, Jackie
Oh,
Chan
so yeah.
smoking
Oh, he's
weed.
getting stoned. Whoa. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
No wonder I liked it when I was young and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those music stings because they're bad.
Yeah.
But after like the third one, I'm like, this is kind of hilarious.
I liked him. I liked Lagrange in the big bar fight. I thought that was fun. The Cowboy Baby song by Kid Rock, I forgot that even existed. And then when it came on, I was like, oh wow, like they're doing a Kid Rock needle drop here. It fit, I thought, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a training montage. I would think if I watched this movie back then, knowing what I know now, with how unaware I am of the current music scene, I would be annoyed by it. But watching it now, it fit.
Yeah, it just dates it because also when we were like 18 or something like that when it came out, like that would be
We're
it was
just
a big
used
hit
to
song and
this
stuff.
stuff happening.
Yeah, or just like they do a lot of like contemporary songs and movies back then and stuff like that. So it kind of dates it in a good way for me, I guess. But I can see people like the fuck Kid Rock, fuck this.
But this is also in the type of movie where like this is such a studio movie. Yeah, that's exactly what this
Yeah.
is. It's not
That is the point. Yeah, this is not hiding the fact it wants to be a big studio movie.
They did the thing where he pisses on his shirt and it doesn't break when he does that.
Yeah.
I started
Oh
thinking,
yeah.
I wrote a note for myself to look up if that's legitimate, and I forgot to because I have a life. Like I said, we've been busy.
Oh,
Do you think that's
you
real?
can wet
On his
a shirt and
and it
like
doesn't break?
twist the bars with it. I don't know. That sounds like something that makes enough sense in the scene to where you go with it, but trying it, in real life, I doubt it.
Little Hollywood insider for you guys.
Hmm.
Just as far as how box offices work, westerns are very hard to make hit. They're very hard to make hit if they're a mixed genre. This mixes
Yeah.
kung fu, comedy, and western, and it was a hit. Very rare, very rare.
It was a mild hit. It made like 95 million worldwide on a $55 million budget, which wasn't that great, but on
Like you
video, I
said,
think
yeah.
it was a huge success. So I mean, it did okay,
It got a
but
sequel.
Right. So
About
that's a
same
good
budget
sign.
range sequel, so they were happy with it.
Hmm.
Yeah, their chemistry.
And they got,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I got good reviews too by most critics. It was pretty like, I think Jackie Chan too, at his point in his career, like Rumble the Bronx was like his first kind of Hollywood transport. Where they just took one of his Hong Kong movies and released it wide here, and it did okay. And then Rush Hour was like a big hit. So this was kind of like Western audiences or American audiences were just sort of getting familiar with Jackie Chan, liking Jackie Chan, even though he's been around for decades, and
It was
was
already
an
like
international superstar.
mid 40s or something by the time this came out, I would think.
Right. So, but the American arts were just starting to get kind of to be fans of Jackie Chan at this time.
Yeah, I have the note. I want to be a cowboy baby, and I wrote, love it. I love the martial actor, the guy from T2, the stepdad from T2 gets the knife through the
Yeah, that is my Facebook friend Xander Berkeley.
Oh yeah, it was great. I forgot he was in this. I was like, oh cool, he's in this. That's right. He's great.
He's been in a shitload of things. Yeah. And he's always good. What'd you think of it? The homage that name has, Marshall Van Cleef. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I don't like any of those name things. It just reminds me of
Name things, yeah.
it reminds me of Back to the Future 3, Clint Eastwood. That's a stupid name.
They did that a couple of times. My name's Jackie Chan's character in this is named Chong Wang, But yeah, especially like
Yeah,
I
and I
know it's
guess
like
at the
80s.
end, sorry, go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
Well, 80s horror movies would do that a lot with the direct, like the in-joke gags, like, and this is Mayor Hitchcock and Chief of Police Romero, and they would, and Inspector De Palma. Where you like, I don't know why that's, I don't know. It seems like a geeky like film thing to like throw in there. Never doesn't really make you laugh. I don't know.
It's like the Wilhelm scream and stuff. Like you have to use it or something. You feel obligated.
It's been done.
I really like at the end it's revealed that Owen Wilson is Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, so is he actually supposed to be Wyatt Earp? I mean, he was a like thief and stuff for
I
a
hope
while,
so.
so
Yeah, but also Wyatt Earp was a very violent man before he took the badge. It's like
yeah.
it's almost like they didn't do any research and it was like, hey, my name's Billy the Kid. What?
It's fine. Yeah, I think it's yeah, Wyatt Earp is a kind of a complex historical figure if you look into his
Yeah.
actual life and stuff. And but yeah, I was wondering like that so but then in the sequel, is he still Wyatt Earp or is he? I never saw the sequel,
Well,
but it says he's just
the sequel takes place in London. They don't even touch on
right.
they don't even do Tombstone. You don't do this shit.
Yeah. So that's your sequel right there. They go to fucking Tombstone, and that's the whole fucking Tombstone story.
The horseshoe rope scene was the best action sequence, I thought.
Well, yeah. I mean, I liked the Jackie Chan action sequence in here. They don't hold a candle to some of his like Hong Kong stuff that he did back in the day. But like I said, like since American audiences were just sort of getting used to him, I thought they were fine. They were fun. I had some signature stuff with the moose horns and shit, like the antlers or whatever the fuck you call moose. Like
no one cares.
Antlers.
Audience
Yeah.
is discerning. They don't give a shit.
No, they don't give a shit. But that was fun. The horseshoe thing was fun. Like, yeah. So I think it wasn't like first class Jackie Chan action sequences, but they were fine for the movie, I thought.
Too much cutting though. I was really disappointed in that. The horseshoe one was the only one that stayed with it, and he did some actual like real fucking stunts. Like they showed an actual thing. I read up on it, and he insisted on actual horseshoe because he needed the weight and everything. So it was all with the real horseshoe.
That's not what I heard. I heard that he insisted on not having a real horseshoe because he said it was too dangerous.
Fuck you, Kenny. Every time
so we have different research going on there that he said he would not do it because it was too like that's too heavy. It's gonna fuck up the stunt guys.
I'm gonna call Jackie Chan's people tomorrow.
I'm sure they'll get back to you right away.
Thanks for the podcast. Do you want to play that drinking game they were playing?
What do you know how to play that? I don't even know what the hell they were yelling. Like like 1, 2, da da da. It doesn't you just yell shit at someone and they just say drink. Like 1, 2, drink, 3, 4, drink, 5, 6, drink. Like like this isn't a drinking game. This is just the yelling stuff and then drinking.
They actually have the rules online, but again, I was too lazy to research them, and then by the time we got to remember all of it and do it, so I got. The damsel in distress is literally a princess. That's kind of annoying. She does do some action stuff briefly, but
she has a little bit of her own agency, a little bit for a minute. But yeah, it's basically just that she's just a damsel in distress, basically.
But the climax actually got me, with them fighting their own guy, the bell and everything. It was pretty engaging. I was surprised.
Yeah,
it's not at that point, but it was still pretty engaging.
No, I was into it. I liked the the Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid homage there. I thought Walter Goggins though, since he was so highly billed in the credits, I forgot he was in this movie. And then it's been 22 years since I saw this movie, so I don't remember it that well. But I thought he was just at the beginning, and then I was like, is he ever again in this movie? Do you think some of his stuff got cut out? And then he's very at the very end, but he's really highly billed in the credits, I noticed.
Surprising because he was pretty much a no-name back then, because that was pre-Shield everything too, right? Or maybe it was Shield, I don't know. But yeah, he just bookends the movie. Always great to see him. Love Justified. He's great in that.
Well, it could have been one of those things like Julianne Moore's credit in The Fugitive, which is like right after Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford, and she's in it for like less than a couple minutes.
And she's a fucking rat. And she's a fucking
rat. She's a rat. Well, she's and
I guess she was
rat. Okay, Polly Walnuts, like
yeah, Polly's got great.
Yeah. But I guess she was like this whole love interest subplot that they just cut from the whole movie. So that's why she was so highly billed, but like they got closer to release. So maybe he was in it a lot more than originally. I don't know.
Probably. So what would you rate this entertaining little gem of a buddy action comedy?
I think I'd have to give it like a solid 4 out of 5 because, like I said, like I enjoyed watching it. It was not a chore. It was I thought it was fun. Very much a dad movie, I think. But yeah, I thought it was fun on a nostalgia level. I thought it moved well. I liked the buddies. I thought they had great chemistry. Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan. Yeah, I liked it all around. I thought it was a fun view.
Yeah, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as a buddy action comedy for sure. Like you said, the buddies were the action was solid, if overcut at times.
Mhm.
And their relationship built naturally. They started off as
Yeah.
adversaries, and then by the end, you can
Mhm.
totally feel they're best friends. The drinking game and the bathtub really like felt their friendship, and you could feel it. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. As a regular movie, probably 3 out of 5 because it's so entertaining and harmless. You can throw it on at any time with any audience and be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was not like a great wow, what a movie, like kind of thing. But I think for the genre and for like, fans of Owen Wilson or Jackie Chan, I mean, like, yeah, you got to see this one.
I also like how bright it is. Everything, most of the actions in the daylight, everything's bright. They really use the
Yeah.
light well. It's just fun.
Well, movies are just too darkly lit now, I think in general. There's actually a line in like the new Scream movie, how they called the original Scream this overlit 90s like piece of shit. And I like when movies are lit. I can't like the Batman. I couldn't fucking see like what the fuck was going on half the
Yeah.
time because it was so dark. And I think David Fincher, like The Social Network and Gone Girl and shit, where he like lights everything so dark but it's so crisp. I think that really influenced like way too many cinematographers just to light everything so fucking dark. Where I think it's kind of needless.
Yeah, but they can't pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Never thought about it. Did this movie do anything for you as far as your everlasting soul?
Not really. No, I wouldn't say it left me with a sense of well-being, or I was deep in thought after. Like, it's a entertaining popcorn movie. There's not a lot to dwell on, I don't think.
Mhm.
I think though that Owen Wilson's shtick is okay. I've never been a real big Owen Wilson fan. His whole wow, oh, cool. I don't know. He had some funny one-liners and stuff, but I don't think he's a comic powerhouse at all.
I think his shtick is unique in that it is positive. He's very positive. He's not this snarky,
Yeah,
sarcastic, cynical asshole. He's very like,
right.
no, don't say that about yourself. You're doing great. No, he's like very supportive, and I think
Yeah,
that's his unique comedic perspective. I
yeah.
still like him a lot.
He made me laugh one time in the movie pretty well. Like when they're going through the bars in the jail, and he's like goes out first. He just goes, "Adios, sucker," and then he turns around. And he's like, "I'm just kidding," and then that was good.
Again, he does a lot of those things that subvert expectations to where it feels like the character knows he's in a movie,
Mhm.
which is just so
Yeah,
when he's on a movie set or how they wrote him. I'm sure he did
right,
improvisation. So no, I thought
right.
he was a highlight, but I'm a fan. I mean, he hasn't done anything recently. He's good on Loki. He's good on
He's
Loki.
kind of fallen off the radar. I guess he's in some new superhero show or something like that. But yeah, I can't remember. Like,
Yeah.
I think Wedding Crashers was kind of like the height of his, movie star kind of thing. But yeah, he's kind of fallen off. I haven't really thought of like an Owen Wilson movie or seen one in a long time.
Then he tried to kill himself. That was in the tabloids.
Yeah, that's kind of a that's a bad career move, Owen Wilson. Durr. You're not gonna make people laugh when you're dead.
Bottle it up, bottle it up.
Yeah, yeah. That did, I remember that did like was like wow, because at the time it's like you're this big movie star, you're in like big comedy guy, and then what the hell, but it just goes to show you that it can doesn't mean everything when you have seemingly the world. So
No, no, depression's depression. I'd like to be really rich to really see what depression can do for me.
yeah, bring on the Owen Wilson life. I want to see if I'll kill myself. I bet
just
I
wanna
won't.
try it. I just want to try it. I'm sure he's right. I'm sure he's right. I just want
Yeah.
to try it. I I can't see it because I'm not in his shoes. We're being very insensitive.
Right.
And if you are depressed and suicidal, you should get help. But if you
Hmm.
give me a house in Malibu and leave me alone for a little while, I think I'm going to be okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll be happy as a pig in shit. I will I'll be like, wow, I get HBO Max, cool. I'm like, oh, full fridge, whoa, oh my god. Like, yeah. I remember that's not to digress too much, but like Artie Lang's book when we were living together in like LA and Palms. For like I was working on a TV show, and they set me up with at this furnished apartment called the Oakwood Apartments in like outside of Burbank right there. And Artie Lang was talking about how he tried to kill himself in the Oakwood Apartments. And he goes on this long description of how fucking depressing these apartments are. And I loved living at the Oakwood Apartments for like 2 weeks. They had a volleyball court, they had a hot tub, they had a movie theater. I had all this shit, a pool and a gym. I was like, wow, this place is so fucking amazing. And he was talking about how this was like the lowest of the low, like, because our apartment in Palms was like a that was a shithole. Like this was like the Ritz, and I hated leaving.
Well, he had the curtains drawn doing drugs. Any place would be depressing in one scene.
Sure,
He wasn't going
but
around focusing on course.
well, it is the same like apartment complex that Corey Haim like OD did and stuff. What so like I guess it's when like it's the apartment complexes were kind of like past stars kind of bottom out, so it's like extra you're surrounded by those kind of people I guess there. But I thought this place was a fucking amazing. I didn't want to leave.
Good. So we covered suicide prevention. We covered
Yeah,
Shanghai Noon.
yeah.
You ever have suicidal thoughts, Kitty?
No, just when I was living with you all the time. I was like, gotcha. It was more of a murder suicide fantasy daydream.
No, I
But
knew you'd get it backwards.
yeah, that's a very I don't know. I don't think serious. No serious like suicide things. I'm too big of a wiener, I guess, to really do the deed. How about you? You ever get suicidal, Lucas?
No,
No. Oh yeah, last week you're like, I want to live. I don't want to fucking die. You're so scared of death. Like, there's no way you'd be like pull the trigger.
I'm so
anytime
scared
soon.
of death. Fuck that. No,
Yeah, yeah,
no, I'll live forever. Thank you very much. And I'll
yeah, yeah.
find a new doctor who tells me otherwise. He or she. She's can be doctors these days.
Uh huh. You'd be like Steve McQueen going to Mexico trying to find miracle cures and shit like that. It'd just be like, you're never giving it up.
No, I'll be traveling the world, spending like my life savings to go to some place in some Tibet town like Andy Kaufman.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they framed that in that Andy Kaufman movie where he's like, that's a good trick, and he's all happy when in real life Andy
Yeah,
Kaufman was legitimately trying to find any Eastern cure to
yeah.
cure his
It's
cancer.
cured himself. Yeah, but it was just there's some people that still think that was a whole like long troll like move, and he's still alive. But that was just this is how good he was. People, he
Right.
died.
And Steve Jobs, he could have survived, but he was doing like Eastern cures and stuff. I believe in Western medicine.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Look, we have just about a minute left. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We ran through Shanghai Noon.
Shanghai Noon. I think we covered it okay. I think I didn't see the suicide segue of conversation after Shanghai Noon, but does that reflect badly on the movie? If you got people like leaving the theater, they're like, that was funny, that was fun. Ever thought about killing yourself?
It reflects badly on the group of friends you chose to go with, I think.
Well, what? Hey, look no further into the viewfinder.
What do you think of, using the Chinese oppression and how they use, because you've talked a lot about how you think that our current society wouldn't have worked without slavery.